Hi, my name is Beyonce. Beyonce Giselle knows. And I'm 16 years old. I just turned 16 about 4 or 5 days ago. My birthday is September 4th, 1981. I'm a Virgo. And for my birthday, I got my belly button pierced. And what I do in the group, I'm the lead singer, and my role in the group, my personality of the group is the serious one, the mother of the group, the one that try to get everybody in line. My advice is to keep God first. That's the main thing. Keep God first. We go to church every Sunday together, and I think that's what gives this group the bond that we have. Please keep God first and pray every night and be serious with your prayers. Also, stay humble. I know we're going to stay humble. If you ever meet me and I have a little attitude, just slap me. Just slap me right back into shape. And if you want to do something, put your mind to it. Focus on that one thing. Don't worry about everybody else trying to distract you and keep you far from your dreams, because it's a lot of haters out there and they're going to try to keep you away from your dreams. But don't listen to them. Just focus on what you're trying to do, and I promise you, you're going to get it. If you work hard at it and you keep God first.
Did y'all listen to that clip? Have you ever heard a bigger load of bullshit in your life, man? Incredible. You know what, man? Let me not be so judgmental. She probably meant that shit back in the day. She probably did. She probably meant every word she said, but it's hard. It's really hard to stay on track when you have devils behind you and in front of you and on the side of you 24/7. My name is Billy Ray Valentine. This is the Infinite Fringe bonus edition, and that was a young Beyonce Knowles talking about keeping God first and staying humble. And if you fast forward to this newest piece of trash video that her and her husband made, ape shit, it's the complete opposite of every single thing she said in that clip that opened up the show. 16-year-old Beyonce Knowles talking about God, talking about going to church, talking about staying humble, that she knew she would stay humble. And now she's doing videos at the Louvre, okay, in France, all in an effort to push a New World Order agenda and to flaunt how rich, how wealthy, how quote-unquote powerful her and her makeshift arranged husband are. Now, I took some time to go over some of the comments that were left behind on this video. You can find this video on YouTube. Just type in Young Beyonce. It'll come up and you can see this for yourself. And, people leave comments, of course, thousands and thousands of comments in reverence to the queen, to the mother of God. That's what they make her out to be. This is what she makes herself out to be. If you caught that performance in what was it? When she portrayed herself as the goddess Isis, pretty much, the Virgin Mary, or whatever else you want to call it. Anyway, let's go over some of the comments here, because no one seems to touch on the obvious, that she's completely turned away from what she was talking about when she was 16 years old. Here we go with 614 thumbs up. She's so much more beautiful with dark hair. So insightful with 661 thumbs up. Hold up. Did she just predict the future? Yes. Dreams do come true. Amazing. Here we go. She fulfilled all her dreams. I think that's so inspiring. 569 thumbs up. Here we got, at 16, she kept God first and laid out her dreams and aspirations and she achieved each and every one. 992 thumbs up, 0 thumbs down. At 16, she kept God first, and she did everything she had to do. Do you really think that God, the God that we believe in, is going to reward behavior like Beyonce has been exhibiting for the past 10 years, maybe more than that? Do you really think he's going to reward it? What the hell is wrong with people? What the hell is wrong with people? So let's just move on a little bit and talk about the humble part of all this, because that's what gets me the most about this video. Let's be humble. So they go out to rent out the Louvre to prove to the world that they are swimming in dough. Not rich, but wealthy is what they want to let people know, right? And the second part about this is race. They are not rich, and they're not just rich. They're wealthy, and they're not just wealthy. They're also black, right? So that's the big deal here, that they're black and wealthy. But the deal is, people are trying to associate themselves with Jay-Z and Beyonce, and Jay-Z and Beyonce are not trying to associate themselves with you. They're not. This is a con that they're putting on here. This is a con. There's nothing genuine about what they're doing here. Okay. First off, the stupid song. You know what? I'm gonna get thrown off course. Okay. Let's talk about the humble. What is humble about going to the Louvre and putting yourself as a work of art, which was what they were trying to do in this video? They were being portrayed, by they I mean Jay-Z and Beyonce. They were being portrayed as living pieces of art. They're standing in front of the Mona Lisa, and they're looking into the camera as if they are the Mona Lisa. They are the new Mona Lisa. The Jay-Z and Beyonce, they are living pieces of art. This is what this meant, right? And people are spinning it, the mainstream, because the mainstream media is now decoding videos. Before, we used to be crazy to think that there were messages in these videos. It was just entertainment. Now, the mainstream media is decoding the videos, okay? Sure, they don't go as deep as the occult, but they have to come up with something, because it's so evident that there are messages in all of these videos that they would just look stupid to ignore it. But there you go. It brings me back to the deep state. Before, we used to talk about the deep state. It was a bunch of nonsense. You were crazy. What? The deep state? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The New World Order? What do you mean? A government within the government? Nah, come on. You're crazy. Now it's all over the news. The deep state. It is a household word, and people use it as if it was common vernacular. Okay? And it's just crazy. But back to the humble. They go to the Louvre just to let other rappers know, just to let other people know that look where we're at. We're at the Louvre filming a music video to let you know just how much money we got, just how much better we are than you, how much more successful we are than you are. That's what this video is about. And it's nonsense. It is nonsense. Jay-Z's been doing this for at least 20 years. When did Jay-Z come out? I remember early to mid 90s when he finally popped off. He hasn't changed. He's doing the exact same thing. Talking about money and his fictional ass drug career that never happened. This was a work from the beginning. He never had a freaking drug career. He sold a couple of bags of weed on the corner and he calls that moving kilos of cocaine. It's a bunch of nonsense. It's storyline. Just like their relationship is storyline, in my opinion. Okay? Beyonce comes out with a video and a song about how Jay-Z cheated on her. Then Jay-Z comes out with a video or an album, just like Beyonce. I think the entire Lemonade album was about Jay-Z cheating on her. Then Jay-Z comes out with an album. Yeah, I cheated on Beyonce, and I feel so bad about it, and I have to repent. And we're gonna try, and it's gonna be a battle, an uphill battle, but we're gonna make it happen. And I'm so sorry, Beyonce, for cheating on you. And then they make this album, the culmination of the trifecta, right? I cheated on you. You cheated on me. Whatever the hell's going on. And now we're together. The Carters. That's the name of this album, The Carters. It's the unification. It's the third part in the trilogy, like the Lord of the Rings. This is it. This is what happened. This was an all storyline. Bunch of nonsense. Then they talk about writing these songs. They didn't even write. That brings me back to Ape Shit. They didn't write the stupid song. Well, maybe Jay-Z wrote his part in it when he does his verse. But Beyonce, and even the way the song flows immediately took me back to Migos. It sounded like something Migos would do. And then I looked it up, and it's Quavo from Migos that wrote the song. Pharrell produced it. So, I mean, that's another thing. How desperate are these people to stay relevant? They're like, hey, let's go to Migos. Let's go to them and have them write a song for us. Because that's what's popping in the streets right now. That's what the kids want to hear. And we want to be as relevant as we can possibly be. We want to affect as many young minds as we can and get them to believe that they can also have a video at the Louvre. They can also be the president of the United States. Yeah, let's get them to believe that. You know, that they can also be filthy rich, incredibly, ridiculously wealthy like I am, like Jay-Z, and the queen of the world, Beyonce, the queen of the heavens. Oh, hail, Queen Bey, right? The Church of Bey. What a blasphemous piece of crap. Like, let me tell you something. If you're really going to put God first, you would immediately come out and condemn all this bullshit that people are making a church about your freaking, you know, I'm getting a little bit pissed here. She should immediately just condemn that. I haven't seen it. I don't know. Maybe she has. I highly doubt it. All right. She's probably soaking it up like a sponge. Oh, please pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. You know, and they go to the Louvre and make this video. Jay-Z is performing in front of this pyramid that's right outside of the Louvre, right? The pyramid that's outside of the Louvre was commissioned by Francois Mitterrand, an alleged open Luciferian former president of France, right? This pyramid has 666 glass panels in it. 666. You think this happened by mistake? This was a coincidence that there are 666, only 666. That's all it took to make. Not 665, not 667, 666. A pyramid outside of the Louvre. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me. Francois Mitterrand, an open Luciferian, supposedly commissioned this thing, and Macron, the current president of France, did his acceptance speech in front of this pyramid, right? When he accepted becoming the president of France, and he came out with the European Union national anthem, not the French national anthem, another nod to the New World Order. He's coming out to that national anthem, preaching globalism, right? There is no France. France has no culture. It's the world culture. It's the European culture. And eventually that merges into the world culture. That's what they were trying to pull off here. But anyway, he gives this speech in front of the pyramid with 666 glass panels and a freaking red eye on top of it. Go look it up. It was crazy. All right, when he gave the speech, there was a red light on top of the capstone of the pyramid, and it looked like an eye. Go check it out. It was freaking creepy as all hell. But this is what Jay-Z is doing at the Louvre. Of course, the Louvre is about 8 miles worth of artwork. He has to start rapping in front of the pyramid. Has to happen, okay? He doesn't have to throw up the rock when there's a pyramid right behind him. Conveniently with 666 glass panels on them. Did I say 666? I just want to reiterate 666. Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm conveying that to you, that I am relaying the information in a clear and concise manner. 660 freaking 6. Okay? So the mainstream is breaking this down as if it's a racial thing, that Jay-Z and Beyonce are going into this predominantly white museum and injecting it with the black entity, right? With the black art that is blackballed in the museum, that there is some black art in the museum, but not enough. And there needs to be more. And Jay-Z and Beyonce have rose to prominence in society to a point where they can infiltrate the Louvre and create the art that they want in the Louvre, that they are the living art. All their dancers and Jay-Z and Beyonce, they are the living art. They are the new forms of expression, the ultimate art that should be hanging in the Louvre. That's what they are, right? And they're turning everything black. Now, let me tell something to any African Americans or just Africans around the world, people of color that are listening to this right now. Jay-Z and Beyonce couldn't give two shits about you. They don't give two shits about you. They don't give two shits about your culture. All they want to do is create more and more division. That is it. That's all they want to do, is create more and more and more division. That's all they serve for. They are race baiters. That's all they are. Nobody wants to listen to this crap anymore. It's funny because there are some positives coming out of this. They're people that don't want to listen to this shit. You know, so they have their new tour, their On the Run 2, that they were selling tickets for an astronomical sum of money. It turns out in Europe, they had to give away tickets in a parking lot to look like they can fill up the place because no one bought tickets. And that is encouraging. I am encouraged by that. People don't want to put up with this bullcrap anymore, but the mainstream media is still pushing it out there like it's the thing to watch. They're like, oh, Jay-Z and Beyonce have dropped a masterpiece out of nowhere. They didn't tell anyone that they were doing this. It's like an RKO out of nowhere. Oh, Jay-Z video out of nowhere. You know, it's just such irritating dribble. Okay, and then you listen to the stupid song. Beyonce is talking about getting the vitamin D. It's incredible. It's incredible. Like, listen, I know there's people out there that like Migos. Offset isn't horrible. If he might very well be horrible, but sometimes he's passable. I really like Ric Flair drip. Maybe I'm being biased because it's about Ric Flair, but this was just nonsense. This whole song is nonsense. I would read the lyrics, but I'm not going to go ahead. Just go and look up these lyrics. Half of it doesn't even rhyme. This guy's just talking. I got expensive fabrics. He got a bad bitch. I got expensive fabrics. And a bunch of other bullshit. It's just freaking nonsense. Have you ever heard a crowd go ape shit? Is what they're talking about here. But back to African Americans, they don't give a damn about you. Jay-Z has been destroying black communities, destroying black people, destroying colored environments since he came out. He has been selling himself out from day one. From day one. Can't stress that enough. He's been selling himself out. And I know better. I bought the Kool-Aid in the beginning. But he's been selling himself out since day one. He named his freaking record label Rockefeller. Selling himself out, man. Since day one, he doesn't give a damn about any one of you. When Dame Dash tried to start a business, their own business, he said, we don't need to mess with them. He said, we can do our own. Jay-Z turned his back on his friend and he went and took the money from them. He is controlled right now. How are you going to empower anyone when you're controlled yourself? He is completely controlled right now. Yeah, you see him flossing in the Louvre and he has all this money and he has Beyonce and he's doing all these things. But he isn't his own man. Everything he's done. Look at everything he's done. He bought the Nets. Look who's behind that. It's not him. The Barclays Center. It's not him. He's the president of Puma now, of Puma sneakers. It's not Jay. Somebody else puts him in that position and they're paying him. All right? He didn't do any of this by himself. Let's talk about this stupid ass video for a sec, right? So as soon as it starts off, it looks like The freaking Shining. Okay? They're trying to set a tone of I don't know, mystery and suspense and just creepiness, overall dread in the tone of this video from the very beginning. It's an open room. It looks like a scene straight out of The Shining. Go watch The Shining and go watch this video and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, right? And then they lead off with a fallen angel. You see some dude crouched down looking like a gargoyle with angel wings. Just for kicks, you know? A fallen angel in the beginning of their video. But then throughout the course of the video, they stand at different pieces of art and perform in front of it or dance in front of it. The one that's most notable is in front of the Nike of Samothrace, or the winged victory of Samothrace. And this statue is supposed to portray a victory, right? And there's a staircase leading up to this statue, the winged victory of Samothrace, the Nike of Samothrace. And this is where Nike apparently got their name from. I didn't know this, but it's the messenger of victory is what this statue is supposed to mean. They're standing at the very top of a staircase that leads up to this sculpture. Jay-Z and Beyonce are completely dressed in white, representing the king and the queen of what I don't freaking know, but of I don't know, black culture. I don't get it. Of pop culture in general, I don't know. The king and queen of complete demonic bullshit is what I like to call it. All right, so they're standing on top of this, at the very top of the staircase, and they're looking down, or not looking at all, just looking straight ahead. But on the staircase, you have dancers or people, naked women, 13 of them to be exact. I counted them. 13 women on this staircase, and they get animated. They're like dead. You even hear bells, like church bells going off while these bodies are laying there lifeless. But when the beat drops, these bodies are animated again and they start moving up and down, breathing kind of, and their arms and their legs go up and then it falls back down. It's like Jay-Z and Beyonce are bringing these bodies, these 13 bodies back to life, kind of, sort of, is what the imagery here is. It's freaky as hell. 13 of them. And it's not meant to be joyous. It's not meant to be joyous in any way, shape, or form. It's occult. It has ritualistic undertones throughout the entire scene, throughout the entire video. It feels like something bad is going on that if you walked into, you'd be like, oh shit, let me get the fuck out of here right now. If you walked into something like that, because I'm probably going to be sacrificed to Moloch or something if I stick around. That's what the whole video is, the tone of the video is. So, I mean, that scene in front of the Nike of Samothrace is key to see. They also stand in front of the Mona Lisa, like I alluded to before, and they stand in front of the Venus de Milo, right? It's a statue of Aphrodite. Venus is a representation of Lucifer, right? It is the morning star, the brightest star in the sky. So you can take it there. They're performing in front of Lucifer. You know, you can make that connection, since Jay-Z has a song called Lucifer. You know, he stands in front of pyramids and raps in front of them that is 666. So it's easy to make the connection for Lucifer here. All right, when he's standing in front of the Venus de Milo doing whatever he's doing. And I know very little about art, right? So I'm not claiming to be an expert here, because I'm not in any way, shape, or form an expert on any of this stuff. I looked this stuff up. I figured there was something to it, right? Then Beyonce's dancing with, get this, 9 right? Including her. It makes 9 dancers in front of this huge, gorgeous painting. It looks gorgeous. What is it called? The Coronation of Napoleon. Guess it was an ode to Napoleon when he was crowned. And she's dancing in front of it very seductively, very, very, I don't know, man, devilishly. This whole video is Luciferian. Okay, and I'm not just saying that, and I don't even mean it in the way that, oh, we're worshiping demons or trying to conjure up something. Just in the base understanding of what a Luciferian is, that's what this video is. It's flaunting wealth. It's flaunting money. It's flaunting excess. It's flaunting sexuality and do what thou wilt, pretty much is what it's flaunting. And you know, Jay-Z has an affinity for Aleister Crowley, so it doesn't surprise me much. Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm going to chase you out of earth. I wish this guy was a little bit more positive, but he is the ultimate piece of crap, in my personal opinion. All of this is my opinion, and my opinion alone. Maybe it's the opinion of the people that are listening to this. Maybe it's the opinion of tons of other people that share in my disgust for this. They're also performing in front of the great Sphinx of tennis. All right, it just looks like a sphinx, and there's an arc behind it, which is probably symbolic as well. And there's red lighting to it. This is a very creepy video. It's a very Shining-esque video, if you take a look at it. But they're performing in front of this stuff. Beyonce is dancing like a maniac, and Jay-Z is just standing there for the most part. Now they have this Beyonce ape shit challenge, right? So now, you know how they do these challenges throughout the internet that, you know, you eat Tide or nonsense like that. You know, you burn yourself, see how long, or you know, douse each other with boiling water because it's fun. You know, that's what we're doing nowadays. So now we have the ape shit challenge where people pick up sheets and lose their ever-loving mind on camera. And they post it on Twitter or on Instagram or wherever the hell you post this stuff, on YouTube. And, you know, that's what people are doing now, because this is what Beyonce did in one of the scenes of the video. She has this sheet and she's losing her ever-loving mind. Looks like she's demon-possessed. And let me tell you something, that was the goal of the freaking scene, okay? She probably was possessed. She talks about being possessed by an entity, you know, that takes over her body while she's performing. She talks about this openly. So this is not far-fetched, okay, what I am saying to you right now, because Beyonce admits this herself. So 9 dancers in front of the coronation of Napoleon, 13 dancers laying down. I thought they were naked, but it's actually a body suit that's skin-toned bodysuit, so it kind of looks like they're naked, but I don't know. I don't think they are. 13 of them on the steps leading up to the winged victory of Samothrace. 13 of them, and at one point they showed them inverted, backward. It's just a crazy video, and I wanna stress that none of this stuff that they are dancing in front of, performing in front of, is evil. Even a pentagram or a 666 or anything like this is evil. It's like a gun. A gun is not evil, in my opinion, okay? It's the person that's using the gun, what they do with it. That's the evil. So we can use these symbols for good. We can use them for bad. Right? The Illuminati has co-opted these symbols and made us think that they're evil. It's the work. They've made us think that these things are no good and we should stay away from them. We can actually use these things to our benefit. Just my opinion. And then the mainstream goes out of their way to glorify Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's like nothing they do can be wrong. They are Teflon. They can't do anything wrong. Jay-Z goes ahead and cheats on his wife, and they find a way to freaking glorify it, right? And they make albums about it and put it out there openly, and we're supposed to buy it as if it's fact. And then the mainstream media takes it and shapes it and makes Jay-Z sound as if he's the next coming of Gandhi or something. I want to play a clip of Jay-Z talking to Van Jones, two of my favorite race baiters, again, in my opinion. Van Jones, incredible. I'm going to start playing this clip, and I'm going to interrupt it at times because it's going to piss me off, and I'm going to have something to say about it. Here you go.
The other freedom I see in the album is just a freedom for couples who have gone through something.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. You know, it's almost a cliche, you know, the celebrity couple, you know, they get together, they break up, you know, I'm like, well, who else are they going to go out with? But for some reason, you took an unprecedented stand to fight for this marriage. Mm-hmm. I mean, to fight for it and to put it all out there. What is it about this marriage that's so special that you would fight this hard to save it?
I mean, to fight for it and to put it all out there. Why would you do that? Let me guess. Money? Why would you air your dirty laundry? Maybe it's all work, maybe it's all fiction. Maybe they're making this just to make some money and then go on tour together and culminate with an album. I think it's called Everything Is Love by the Carters. United, Jay-Z and Beyonce come together and become the Carters after trial and tribulation that they have overcome. How'd you do it, Jay-Z? You fought for this marriage. This guy is a damn near a billionaire having sex with any woman that he wants at a regular basis. And he fought for this marriage. The only fighting I saw was in an elevator when Solange was about to beat his punk ass up. And that was probably stage 2. Let's go back to this clip.
Well, it's my soulmate. It's the person I love, you know. And you can be in love with someone. You can love someone and you not. And if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, then you're going to have complications, period.
What the hell did that even mean? I don't even know what the hell that meant. He doesn't even get called on that. That made no sense. That wasn't even a coherent fucking statement.
And if you can either address it or you can pretend until it blows up at some point. And, you know, for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome. You see, you know, to break that cycle. For black men and women, you know, to see a different outcome. Like you were saying, it's not this celebrity couple. We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just happened to be celebrities.
That's beautiful.
Like real people.
Yeah.
And you hear Van Jones in the background. They're going, "Oh man, that's beautiful, man. That is beautiful. Oh man, I can't believe it. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard." What a freaking tool. Like, I mean, just take his pants off and blow him on television at this point. Jesus, man. And Jay-Z's like, hey, we were never a celebrity couple. We're just a couple that just so happened to be celebrities. You're a freaking dumbass, bro. Yeah, I am so sorry, guys, that I'm spazzing out like this about it. But you know what? This is really disgusting stuff. It's really disgusting stuff that he's going on. And they're asking this guy for freaking advice on marriage. Jay-Z. They're asking him for advice on marriage with a history documented on his records of demeaning women of all races, indiscriminately demeaning females. Okay, and saying that he will never love a hoe on many different occasions. All right, this is the guy we're going to ask because I don't know if you guys knew this, but Jay-Z craps gold bars, a solid gold bars. When he takes a crap, that's what happens. A solid gold bar comes out. It can actually feed a small African country.
What advice would you have for men who have caused pain in marriages? I mean, it's easy. I mean, somebody like you.
The best apology is change behavior, right? Mm-hmm. But change behavior, one. And then also you have to acknowledge. You have to acknowledge the pain. You have to let that person have their say. You have to get on the floor, get on the mattress, and you have to really work through it and really be honest. And no matter how many times, it takes a while. It's hard. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to hear, difficult to say. It's difficult to, to listen to that sort of pain. And you just have to be strong enough. You have to be strong enough to go through that, because on the other side is beautiful. In our case,
that's a level of strength really on both sides. I mean, if the shoe had been on the other foot, if the transgressions had been on her side, do you think you would be able to be as forgiving of her as she was of you?
I hope. Again, because I love her the same way, no matter.
Yeah, because that's not hard to believe. I'm pretty sure Jay-Z would have kept her around if she went out and cheated on Jay-Z 24/7 and then aired it, to people so people can know, here's what I did to my husband, Jay-Z, the ultimate pimp, right? I'm sure Jay-Z would have hung around because he's so damn strong, and we should be asking him for advice on marriage and world affairs and world hunger.
What side? I love her the same way. I pray that I will, because her strength and her, man, she's the strongest woman I know. Like her and my mother, they battling for number one.
Beautiful. I just want to say to you, you are blazing a trail, for a lot of us to follow. But financially, culturally, the idea of confession could save so much pain and suffering in politics and every place else. I honor you. One of the guys said, just make sure to ask him before he leaves, is he in the Illuminati? And I said, no, I'm not going to ask that, but are you?
I'm in the new Illuminati.
Let's give it up for Sean Jay-Z Carter. First guest on the Van Jones Show.
Jay-Z, the trailblazer, according to Van Jones. The trailblazer, blazing a trail for all of us, the breaker of chains, the father of dragons, much like Stephanie McMahon is the mother of dragons, Jay-Z. And then they ask him if he's in the Illuminati. And he doesn't deny it. He says, I'm in the new Illuminati. I don't give a damn what Illuminati you're in, brother. We don't want you, and we don't like you, and we denounce you, and you absolutely suck. Now, I've been fortunate enough to not have heard this album yet. All I heard was this one track. And trust me, it was hard to get through. So any of you brave souls that got through that entire album, I guess you should be commended. Mark Devlin sent me a clip of a breakdown that he did for another song on the album. I haven't heard this song yet. So I'm going to play the clip that Mark sent me right now. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be just as critical as I am, if not more. Who knows what the hell he went through when he was listening to this crap. Well, here you go. Mark Devlin.
All right, well, this is Mark Devlin out of the UK, author of Musical Truth Volumes 1 and 2. And people may have caught the show that I did recently with Billy Ray, talking about the artistic and spiritual degradation of Kanye West and how that fits into what's happening generally with hip-hop culture. That was for the Infinite Fringe show. The reason I wanted to get on today and just articulate a few thoughts is in response to Jay-Z and Beyonce's new album, which has just dropped, and in particular the track Black Effect that appears on it. The reason I just wanted to express a few thoughts is because when I first heard it, it pissed me off. I got angry. And that's my main motivation for doing any of the work that I do. I don't appreciate mind control. I don't like seeing people getting deceived and duped and taken in. And I like to offer information wherever I can, which might enable people to make some better decisions and apply a bit of critical thought to one of these situations. And so it is with this Jay-Z and Beyonce album. What pissed me off about it the most is that these two seem to be getting held up as contemporary black cultural icons in the way that they're being marketed. The implication is that they're in touch with their black roots and their people, and they're torchbearers for issues affecting black communities everywhere. Certainly the mainstream media is pushing this narrative. When you look at some reviews of this new album, you get Joshunda Sanders of Harper's Bazaar, for example, describing the album as the ultimate ode to black freedom. Really? And then Rolling Stone magazine is talking of the previous album's responsibility to society as black billionaires, and of the new one representing Jay-Z and Beyonce's growing black family dynasty. And then in the promo shots for the album, you've got the pair of them rocking certain black fashions and really just trying to appear as if they're in touch with their ethnic roots, you know? So let's get down to the truth of the matter. Jay-Z, a long time ago, sold his soul to the white, Jewish-controlled satanic record industry. That's what it is. There's days, weeks, years worth of research out there to show that the record industry is very evil in its core nature, and it's not there to entertain you and uplift you and let you have fun. It's there to control you on a covert subliminal basis. As I say, endless examples of this. Read my books, read many other researchers' books. Jay-Z chose to name his record label Rockefeller Records. It's wordplay, and it's based around John D. Rockefeller and his son David Rockefeller. John D. Rockefeller was a German Jewish millionaire oligarch and eugenicist. The Rockefeller family has been responsible for infiltrating and subjugating the American education system to basically dumb down entire generations of people and keep them away from critical, higher-minded thought. It's also been responsible for decimating the health of untold millions through taking control of the pharmaceutical medical industry. And that's just the beginning of that family's particular activities. They're also heavily involved in eugenics through Planned Parenthood, which is all about population reduction and encouraging abortions. So that's the guy Jay-Z chose to name his record company after. What a role model. Black power. Yeah. So Jay-Z is now almost 50 years of age. You might think that an artist that's been in the game for as long as him may have matured and become a bit more reflective and would now be delivering messages of some kind of hope and empowerment for young people so that they can make better choices and enjoy more prosperous futures. But you don't get that. What you do get is Jay-Z continuing to rap primarily about how much wealth he has, material riches, and still waxing nostalgically about his days of selling crack to further decimate the very black communities that he's now seeking approval from. It's so ironic that Jay-Z's entire value system, that of chasing material personal gain at any cost, is the very same as that of the masters who enslaved and subjugated his ancestors. And yet he's being held up as some kind of hero or spokesperson for black people everywhere. So the track Black Effect is a particularly grotesque and offensive outing for me, because he's attempting to reassert his blackness and to endear himself to his people, even down to wearing a new semi-afro in the promo shots. So in the lyrics he states, "I'm good on any MLK Boulevard and I'm Malcolm X." It's funny because I don't remember him surviving any assassination attempts in response to his political activism recently, but he claims to be Malcolm X. He also talks of collard greens and cornrows in further attempts to show that he's down with his fellow brothers and sisters. And just to make things clear, obviously I'm a dude who is white, middle class and English, but I do know a thing or two about black culture and issues affecting black communities through having been a DJ for the past 28 years, playing primarily hip-hop and other forms of black music. I've interviewed many of the artists from these fields. I've had many friends from black communities. We've had lots of discussions about these things, so I do know a thing or two about it, just before anyone tries to accuse me of not knowing what I'm talking about. I was reminded of a great lyric by the conscious rapper Diesel Automatic in his track Here I Stand a few years ago, specifically addressing Jay-Z. The lyrics went, "You sold your soul for material things. I give a fuck if people say that you're a lyrical king. Ain't it funny how they love it when a grown man brags about the jewelry and the money that none of his fans have?" Absolutely on point. a true insight into Jay-Z's real nature. And for a true insight into how much Jay-Z really values his wife, Beyonce, when the official cameras aren't rolling, if you do a YouTube search for Jay-Z Beyonce mind control, you'll find the video of a sporting event where Beyonce is appearing very dissociated from reality. She's behaving very strangely, very worryingly, and this is absolutely consistent with trauma-based mind control programming, which is known to be endemic throughout the entertainment industry. Jay-Z is sat next to her, and you might think that any loving, doting husband would be very concerned for his wife's behaviour in such circumstances. But we don't get that. Jay-Z's just sitting there like he's bored, he'd rather be somewhere else, he's seen it all before, and he couldn't really give a shit. So for her part on this, Beyonce sounds about 50 years old. She no longer sounds the young, sweet, innocent thing that she did on so many of her previous tracks. And she's talking about bitch this, nigger that, motherfucker this, coming with all this foul language, you know? It's a very far cry from when she was presented to the world as one of the oh-so-sweet members of that nice family-friendly Destiny's Child group. The reality is that in trying to portray herself as some kind of black goddess figure in the new promo shots, she's merely doing what she's told by her handlers, just as she has throughout her career, including the instruction to get together with Jay-Z to form a completely artificial celebrity couple, rife for joint manipulation. It is just another day at the office in the sick, diseased entity that is the corporate entertainment game, and it gives us an opportunity to further understand the true nature of Jay-Z, who, although he's perceived as having lots of power in the hip-hop game, although he's certainly a multi-millionaire, he's one of the richest men in hip-hop, as the Forbes Rich list consistently confirms, but all of that has been gifted to him by those that control him. He's being rewarded for playing the game, for adhering to agendas that are set out for him. He might be seen to buy baseball teams and fashion brands and drinks brands and all the rest of it, but how much of that is coming from him himself operating on an individual autonomous basis versus how much of it is being given to him in reward for him doing what he's told. This latest album and the ideas that are portrayed on it is just one more example in an ongoing saga of Jay-Z kowtowing and bowing down to the white Jewish controlled record industry, of which he's a pawn and a puppet and nothing more. There's no black power here. There's no Jay-Z being a spokesperson somehow for his people and their culture. This is cynical manipulation of large numbers of people. And Jay-Z is just another Pied Piper. Just one in a long line. There's been plenty before, and there'll be plenty to come. How much is it going to take for people to see through the facade to understand this man's true nature and that of his severely manipulated and mind-controlled wife?
All right, that was Mark Devlin on Black Effect, a track that I still haven't heard, but I have to go back and listen after Mark's breakdown of it. And I want to thank Mark for sending me this clip, and he's always an excellent guest to have on. One of my very, very favorite guests to have on the Infinite Fringe. I'm sure he'll be back at some point. Thank you, Mark. If you're listening, I appreciate it. Listen, man, I'm going to wrap. I already did, it's almost close to an hour of ranting on this piece of filth. And I meant this to be about 20 minutes. So there you go, man. Take with it what you will. Do some research. Hey, if you disagree with me, you disagree with me, man. It is what it is. It's just the way I feel. I really don't like this guy. I don't like what he stands for. I don't like what he's doing. And it's going to be hard for me to change my mind on that. Just the way it is. Don't support this guy. Just don't. Don't go to his concerts. Don't buy their crap. Not that they need it. They're freaking almost, I think combined, they're billionaires already. So let's just stop buying into this stuff, man. All right, then. It's a bonus edition of the Infinite Fringe, man. Make sure you guys come back. You hear? All right. Take it easy. Bye-bye.